I haven't seen it in about a week.
And that was my sister. Other going tomorrow.
Eight match papers. And maybe 5 readings.
Julie, would you call roll, please?
John Bartlesmeyer.
Here.
Jim Fewens.
Here.
Dave Elliott.
Here.
Kirk Hart.
Here.
Bill Meyer.
Here.
Robert Nelson.
Here. Would you stand with me for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I really have no comments tonight. The consent agenda. Attached to the minutes of the regular board meeting conducted on October 18th, 2021. Approval of treasurer's report, bills and claims. Attached are the treasurer's report and the bills and claims report. Approval of personnel actions, additions. Ben Cole was addition as assistant golf course coach effective November 1st, 2021. Separations. Yasmin Batch assistant basketball coach, effective October 31st, 2021. It's recommended that the consent agenda items be approved as presented. Is there any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Hewens,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer.
Yes. Yeah, page 61. Item A, approval of rescheduled notice of sale and close dates. At the October board meeting, the board approved moving forward with financing for the turf fields. Financing options included a certificate of participation with the board motion to sell on November 15th and close on December 15th if the bids were accepted. Due to board meeting being rescheduled for November 8th, the information to review is not available, and thus the notice of sale and close dates need to be changed to December 13th and January 5th respectively. Administration recommends the board approve rescheduling the notice of sale and close dates to December 13th and January 5th. This point of discussion, Tom, is it going to be any kind of a problem at all to do this? Okay. Any other discussion?
Why are we doing this?
Because Julie can speak on that.
Oh,
Originally, we were scheduled for the 15th, with
Yes.
moving our board meeting to the 8th. It doesn't
Okay.
give all the banks involved, particularly the local banks, enough time to put together
okay, I got
a
you.
proposal.
Jim, that was my question as to was this going to mess something up?
Yeah.
Just like postponing it just a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Is there any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Julie, would you call the roll?
Elliott,
Yes.
Hewens,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer.
Yes. Letters, correspondence, items for review. Are you going to do
Just
this?
went past it, yep. Actually, this is Dee Dee's sister, and of course, it's just a thank you from her family. So, and she passed away, I think 2 weeks ago. So we appreciated that note from them. The next one is to Kirk. Actually, Kirk, why don't you take that one?
Sharp.
I
Sharp,
think this is
never
for
mind.
Sharp.
I was gonna say, when I first saw that, I thought,
I know.
remember this.
What's up with that? Like the last one, because you brought it to me.
Yeah.
Because whoever the people were last time thanking you, so. And it just talks about the Gordon Park celebration, which I didn't know that was in there, so I'm sorry. It was a really amazing celebration, and Kirk just does a really nice job. He's passionate about, of course, the museum and moving it forward and incorporating that and to the curriculum that we have here. So that was, and I don't know who these people are, but it's Megan and Jeff McGlynn. So I don't know if anybody else knows who they are.
Administrative updates.
All right, let's just go around the room. Julie? I mean, to my right.
Okay. Pretty much just normal things. We are pretty much dwindling out the refunds and the awarding process for this semester. So checking that, making sure we have everything correct. Audit was finished up last Monday. He's still got a few things that he's reviewing and gonna send us some questions because we're getting close to that. And maintenance, as far as the Garrison Apartments, we're submitting today. I just talked to Jared a couple hours ago. He's submitting today the request to have the fire marshal come and review. So hopefully that is going to be wound up here in a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. It always seems to stretch out longer and longer, but we believe we're ready. So that's pretty much it. Business office is reviewing, getting ourselves settled, you know, still winding up for the first quarter of grants and making sure we're all on progress for that, so pretty good shape.
My wife and I went over and toured the fire department's new ladder truck a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to one of the firemen, and after we talked to him, Cindy said something about if you run into a time thing with this, getting everything okay, contact Jerry Moran, maybe, the senator. Well, I mean,
Beat up the.
well, I mean, hey, you know, we've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah.
And sometimes a little pressure from somebody like that might help, because
I'll remember
the
that.
firemen we spoke to said there were three, sorry. They didn't have as many people working there as the past, and so they were all stretched very thin. And if you say the wrong thing, they'll just put you to the back of the line.
Yeah.
And he said it's not really fair, but anyway, I just think maybe sometimes we need to touch base with our local representatives or senator, just to
I'll
see if they
remember
can.
that. We'll see how far we get in the next couple
I
of
mean,
weeks. And
Couldn't hurt. Maybe I said the wrong thing by saying that. I
And
don't know.
we may reach out. I can tell you that my charming ways have only got me a lecture from the state fire marshal's office that they will not move it forward. It goes through the portal, the fire prevention portal, and you cannot request to speak to anybody in person or copy them on the email. So we do have a contact. It is quite frustrating. We have Jared and I spoke today, and that we need some clarification on some things. And so I did have him copy Mr. Matthew on that. And so I'll deal with whatever the consequences of that will be, but it is, it's frustrating. I understand where they're coming from. They can't just jump anytime somebody says, hey, what about me? But at least being able to clarify some things would, I think, be appropriate and warrant a response. So we'll see. We'll get a response when we're.
I didn't mean to overstep boundaries by
No.
over your head. I mean, but I just, more people who, I'll
I
write the
will
guy.
be happy to give Senator Moran's office a call if we can.
Let me know, I'll send him an email. He and I are talking to each other.
You guys are probably
It usually just goes one direction. No, we're not doing Christmas
no
cards yet,
Christmas cards this year.
not this year. And the Marshall guy too, he won't. Anyway, okay, moving on. Politically, I'm committing suicide probably. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Okay.
All right. Well, not a whole lot in my area. Right now, we're focused on, it's that time of the year for observations and advisory board meetings. And that's kind of what's going on for the most part. A couple of things to make everybody aware of. We are going to pursue a heavy equipment operator certificate with the state. And so we're in the beginning stages of doing that. Have ascertained a letter from Nabholz so far. Going to talk to Crossland as well for to try to get some support behind that. And we're also focusing on the technical side tonight about some advanced manufacturing non-credit items. And so how can we best suit some of the needs of the manufacturers in the area we had a discussion at our welding advisory board that, you know, we train welders, and Dave, I'm sure you can appreciate this, but some of the businesses don't necessarily need welders. They need people that can work that can run the machines and that type of thing, that can do some programming and learn how to work on a laser cutter and things like that. So we actually have a meeting tomorrow on how to incorporate some of that into our curriculum and hopefully make some of our folks a little more employable in that area as well. Also, final point, you may have saw on KOAM last week, our masonry students, a couple of our former masonry students were laying the foundation for the Habitat for Humanity House in Pittsburgh. And our carpentry students are more than likely gonna go help frame that house up, and then our HVAC students will come in on the back side and help with the ductwork and that type of thing on it. So that's the update I have.
The heavy equipment thing, is that gonna be through the Pleasanton deal, or is it gonna be?
It'll be wherever we want it.
Oh, okay.
It is one that we will offer at Pleasanton.
I know they were looking for something like that.
Yes, given that it is approved, it is one we will offer there, but I would put a 90% chance on us also offering it at other locations.
Okay,
So if not more than that.
good.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
Well, today we had a very nice event on campus. The TRIO program brought in a guest speaker for the First Generation College Student Celebration Day. And so, a first generation student doesn't always have the family support of someone who lives with people that have been through college. And this young man had been through quite a lot in his life, and he was able to connect things that had happened with him, but keep his eye on the goal. And even though there were several steps backwards, always be able to find that right path. And he did a very nice job of talking to our students and trying to draw that line for them and encouraging them to, the people you hang out with are the people that you become. And so choosing that right group of people and how to make those choices. And so he was a very good speaker. We will get feedback. He asked the students to give feedback to his website. He's on the road right now, so eventually we'll get some of that feedback and be able to share that out. But we had well over 210 students in attendance and about 20 plus faculty and staff that were there. And so we are appreciative of the faculty that also brought their students to the event. And we had a really nice turnout, and it was very heartwarming to see the auditorium almost full. It's been a long time since we've been able to have that. And so that was nice for us to have. Not a whole lot else going on right now. Enrollment is in full swing. So advising is busy, meeting with students and working on degree plans and those types of things with students. COVID numbers have been minuscule. We run at about one student off campus that's in quarantine at a time. It seems like when that one rolls off, another one rolls on. But we've had very few. The HEP and camp staff are at a conference this week. So all of those people they got to go to Omaha, Nebraska for their conference. So they were excited about that. I know, right? That's what I
We
did
lost
too.
our trip to Florida.
I know, but they got to go to Omaha. So they were pumped. But that's about all we have. Everything right now is kind of at that end of the semester. Students are winding down, getting ready to start gearing up for finals.
Your TRIO students, 200 and some?
Well, that was all students. We opened it up for all students, not just TRIO.
Oh, okay.
So every
Okay.
student, that's why faculty was bringing their class.
Very good, okay.
And we opened it up for everybody. So we thought it was important for students that were not just
Sure.
first gen students. They have the same struggles and a lot of the same obstacles. And so it was good for any student to listen to.
I'm sorry I missed it. I was scheduled that I could be there.
He was a good speaker.
So the first generation, is this the first time you've really kind of?
It's the biggest event they've had for first gen kind of celebration day. The last probably 3 years, they have had some type of first gen, but it's been mostly just TRIO themselves. And this year they wrote a little grant to the Council of Opportunity and Education and got a little bit of financial support. They were awarded that grant to help sponsor this speaker. But they used a lot of the money that they have funneled for students to bring the speaker in also to help celebrate this day. And so it was nice that every student on campus got the opportunity to participate.
I think that's a great thing. I really do.
It's nice. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time since we've had something like that on campus. And so it was nice to see.
Thank you.
Business.
I guess it's all, let's see, we had a very busy weekend athletically. We had the Gladback tournament in Arnold Arena. And so we had 4 games on Friday and 4 games on Saturday. Basketball teams went 4-0 during those tournaments. And so it was a good weekend for them. Football had the playoff game in Independence. They came out on the short end, and so their season is over. We have reached out to students regarding not returning, those who are not planning not to return in the spring, to notify housing. They have until December 1 to let us know on that. So then we get a better shot, idea on what we're looking for as far as occupancy goes. As of today, we are still very full in all of the locations. I think we've got one bed in Blue Hall right now, and so that's a good thing this time of the semester to be able to have a shortage on extra beds. As far as the foundation goes, we have solidified some dates for events that'll happen in the spring. We've always had the foundation scholarship dinner, and that's going to be April 12th, and it'll be on campus at the Fine Arts Center. And we also have, back in 2020, the early spring before COVID, we inducted a class of 4 into the Hall of Fame, and we never got to have their ceremony. And so we do have that back on the calendar for this spring. That will be May 7th. We're going to pair that with our athletic awards, and that'll be on the 6th, and we'll have a golf tournament on the morning of the 7th, and then a nice celebration dinner at the River Room on the evening of the 7th as well. So we're looking forward to that. I did get confirmation from all of the inductees that they will be able to attend, and so that will be excellent. Coach Beard, he's the head coach at the University of Texas, and he's going to try to bring his whole team back for that event. And so, and the 2 assistants that he had with him as well. So we're looking forward to that. Dave LaRoche is going to have to balance some Mexico plans, but he said that he can be back. Miss Sharp will be back as well, and Taylon Barkley was the other inductee. So we're looking forward to that. And lastly, we have the Foundation Gala that is July 16th at 7 p.m. And so all of that will be going out in the next couple of months with advertising and whatnot, to make sure that that's a solid event that we can put forward for scholarships.
Thank you. And as usual, it's about the people that are here and all the excellent things that they do. It allows us, of course, to move forward, and I wouldn't be able to do my job without my executive committee, the cabinet, all the people that work here. I think it kind of reflective today, Jared was in a couple times, of course, Jared Keelan, who is our maintenance director, and thank heavens we have people like him that are willing to, really kind of think outside the box and make sure that things are getting done. And it's greatly appreciated. For my report, just a couple of things. Actually, I think I reported on this last time, but it reminded me of that. Adam, Chris Mingarelli, and I attended a conference, the National Workforce Development Conference in Arizona. They actually presented at the conference and let me tag along. It really was very well received. The conference, what we were focusing on was how can we do courses or programs not for credit to be able to meet the workforce demands that we have. We have a lot of businesses that come to us and say, hey, we need this or we need that, but we're education and it takes us 3 weeks to blow our nose, literally. And so we want to be able to do something that allows us to be more flexible and nimble, and the credit hour thing really ties our hands. Learning is learning. The variant should not, the time should not be the thing that doesn't vary. If you can learn something in 2 or 3 days and be able to show competence on it, why are we making you spend 8 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever? And so we're kind of trying to figure that out. The part that has been problematic is being able to figure out the funding stream that goes along with that when you're talking about non-credit, because of course that means we get no state funding for that. But I think that we're coming along. It's something that we are talking with Board of Regents about. I've been up there and I think I know we're going to form a task force. I say we, the community colleges, the universities and KBOR staff, to try to do a better job through the Tech Ed Association or the Tech Ed Authority, I mean, to figure out how we can do some training that would be not for credit training, and to be able to figure out a funding stream that is different than what we have had before. Like the Department of Commerce had those aid grants, but we never really could figure that out. And so we continue to work on that. I will share with you, one of the things I worked on today was a report for the Kansas Board of Regents on program to program transfer and program to program reporting portal. I can tell you that I will be glad when this year is up and I am not the president of the presidents. I have no idea why I agreed to do that. I should have my head examined, but nonetheless, it has been good in that we're trying to have conversations with the Board of Regents that are productive conversations and really move us forward in places that we need to move forward as far as community colleges are concerned. And program to program articulation and transfer is critically important, because what happens is if they can't go in as juniors and count their general education hours, what happens is they will lose a lot of times 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours of credit, which is expensive for the student. It's expensive for the taxpayer. It doesn't meet the strategic goals of the Board of Regents, and it just holds up the entire process. It also has to do with retention of students. If we can get the universities and K Board to buy into program articulation and an appropriate reporting portal that would allow students to do that, and there's a lot of states that have already figured this out, then that would also help the universities, because it's going to allow them it would save on recruiting money for them, because they wouldn't have to recruit some of these students, and those students would be able to set in as college ready, knowing that they have achieved success in those core competencies and those courses that are needed for that. And so we're really pushing hard on that idea right now, and that is this program to program. It did make the list of Board of Regents sort of priorities. And so I'm hopeful that maybe we will see something by the end of the year. But remember, we are education, we are slow. And so we can be very, very slow with things like that.
How is that different from the
We have, which is very beneficial, but we have a list, I say we, the Kansas Board of Regents, as you know, has a list of courses that transfer as equivalents, which anybody can look up, but that's a course by course, equivalency and transferability. We need a program. We want students to take 60 hours and set it into a 120-hour program, and they get all 60 hours. They don't have to hop back and take a gen ed course. Let's say we'll pick on Pitt State. So Pitt State requires a gen ed course that no other university requires, and that is in technologies. So they'll have to sit back as a freshman and pick that up, which adds to, obviously, the fact that they should have already completed that. A lot of times they'll make students that are juniors go back and pick up, for instance, orientation courses. That shouldn't be.
So
It's not the seamless pathway we like to believe that it is.
it's what we're looking for is a 60-hour to 60-hour.
Right.
A lot of the universities over the last 10 to 15 years have dropped their gen ed curriculum down to the 35 to 38-hour range. And it's a credit hour grab, essentially, a lot of times what it ends up being. But so a student from here is going to transfer to KU. Well, the business department at KU you don't need English 102 anymore. You need English for business majors. And so KU is the only one that offers it. It's 300 level course, and you have to take English for business majors as part of the gen ed core to be a business major at KU. And there's a lot of that has been happening, which is why the push for program articulation. So
Was that like streamlining or something where this, I don't know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
like I said, they're gonna we want them to set in and be guaranteed junior level status and not have to set back and take, for instance, calculus is special at KU. And so they won't accept calculus, even though that's on the articulation list, because theirs is split into 2 different courses that the rest of us can't figure out. And so they'll make students up there, even though they've already taken calculus here, step back and take those other 2 courses. The College of Engineering is really bad at K-State about making people step back and take stuff. As a matter of fact, they don't even like college algebra from the community colleges up there, which is a gateway course, which a lot of our students get as seniors in high school. So
We work very well with Pitt State. We had a student who graduated with an associate's degree this past year from one of our area high schools. At the same time she graduated from the high school. And
Now, wait a minute, say that,
we had
she
a,
got an
enough-
associate in her high school.
Yeah, she got-
he had enough
Yes.
hours or whatever he's.
yes, credit hours, and she came in as was assigned freshman level status at PSU for a year.
Even though she'd already done the scholarships and everything for a junior, they made her step back and take orientation and all this stuff. It was very,
Doesn't
they
sound-
wouldn't get,
It almost doesn't sound fair.
Yes.
well, it's expensive for the state and the
Yeah,
students.
there's just too many little nuance issues like this. Roadblocks, thank you, John,
Okay.
going on in the state. So it's a statewide effort to try to get this alignment where if a student graduates with an associate's degree here in 60 hours,
They can
then they
go
take
wherever
60
they want
hours
to.
to any other university in the state
Okay,
and do it. And the private colleges are on top of it. They're taking up 70, sometimes up to 80 hours from us and just having the students finish 40 hours in private college and grant them bachelor's degree. So
so we're trying to get the Regent schools.
correct.
Okay.
And starting with the general education core transfer classes, and then it'll expand out to the program issue.
Excuse me, are the Regent schools consistent between themselves?
No,
Or is it Emporia State may say, great, we'll take it, and Pittsburgh State says no?
Correct.
they also don't work well together. So if you want
They
to,
don't.
if you want to transfer from Emporia State to K-State or vice versa, they also don't.
Fort Hays State is trying to be a little proactive with this right now and get on. We have received some information from them that they're probably for next year going to take anybody. If you graduate with an associate's degree in 60 hours, you come in and you only have the last 60 left. But other than them right now, there's a lack of consistency among Regents universities.
The Regent schools don't play well together.
Is this a more recent problem, or is this,
No, it's.
I don't recall this
it's a
being an
long-
issue back in the early 2000s when I was involved with transfer.
No, it's always been an issue. The TAC, the Transfer and Articulation Council, and the policies that they have developed around the transfer portal, the Kansas transfer portal, have been very, very helpful. But like I said, they're course to course. And so there's still a lot of hurdles. For instance, if I'm a pre-engineering student to sit into the College of Engineering as a junior, they're gonna be like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. Yeah, you really probably need about another year's worth of courses before we'll let you in. So one of the pushes is also to guarantee admittance to certain programs. Now, trust me, we can't even get program to program transfer, the whole admittance to certain programs is a long way out. But that is one thing that we do talk about quite a bit too. So, no, it's an issue that's always been there. It's kind of interesting, years and years ago, when I was part of the Transfer and Articulation Council, we kept asking for data that says how many credit hours does a native student, let's say at KU or K-State, how many have they accumulated versus somebody that has transferred in from a community college, just to see, because we never get any real data on this. So to be honest with you, sometimes you don't know if you really even have a problem or how big that problem may or may not be. And we've never gotten that. So the point being, if it takes, let's say 124 hours to complete the bachelor's, and native students, let's say, have attempted 124 to 127 or whatever, but a transfer student, let's say, has 150, and that is pretty common, then that would tell you that they're having to take a lot more hours and once they get to that institution to be able to complete that degree. But it's data that we've never been able to receive from the Board of Regents.
So what was the value then of going through that whole process of getting certain courses done?
Well, some in the
Because we
past,
can-
some of your
Because
basic
I know
level,
KACCT worked really hard.
some of those basic level courses in the past would not even transfer. So, so there became an issue from that
And then
perspective.
you can, like, if we have a student, let's say that, I don't know, K-State says we're not gonna take your college algebra, then we can appeal to TAC, to the Transfer and Articulation Council, and they can get it to go, but
We have
there's some
certain,
games played.
certain instructors at those institutions that said, this is my program and this is what is required.
A lot of states have it figured out, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Nebraska. I mean, plus they have a common numbering system, which would be woefully beneficial, but we're also always out on the common numbering system. But I mean, that'd be an easy thing. You have a portal, so you have a common numbering system, it runs through the portal, it either is or it isn't. You gotta see or get in.
Which we do, but then we get to choose our own college numbers based on.
And so we have different names, different numbers, different everything. So it makes the matrix pretty convoluted when you take a look at it.
Okay.
So the rest of my report, we digress about program to program articulation. As we have talked about before, the Kansas Promise Scholarships really is an amazing, I think, transformational opportunity for students. We have had difficulty giving away our Kansas Promise Scholarship dollars that the Board of Regents gave to us. Like I told you, it was a really heavy lift. The legislation passed, they passed the statute in May, and we had to get it up and going by August. We did just recently though award another one to one of our John Deere students. And the Kansas Promise Scholarship, as you know, they do have to, of course, apply for FAFSA. It is a last dollar scholarship, but it will pay for everything, including tools, shirts. It is an amazing opportunity. We had John Deere Advisory Board meeting last week, and I did have an opportunity to visit with the John Deere dealers about this, and they were excited because you can imagine the dealers sponsor a lot of those students in that program, and so it's going to save them a lot of money. I feel like we'll be in a better position to use the money next year. We are a little bit of a disadvantage because we sit on the Missouri line, and students have to sign all kinds of waivers that say they will live and work in Kansas after they have completed their degree. You can also get a deferment. So if we have students that are here for 2 years and they decide to go on and get their bachelor's, then they can defer when they live and work in Kansas, even though they do have to go to a Kansas institution, because we did clarify that with them. But it really is, I think, an opportunity for students. And we're trying to get that more out to business and industry. And on a statewide level, you may have seen some things too, because KACCT is getting that information out. A lot of other things have been going on, but like I said, I did want to mention that the Community Foundation did award the Gordon Parks Museum a $3,000 grant on Thursday night to bring in a dancer? Ballet, pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so we had also asked for a hydration station on the walking trail. We didn't get that. I told Kirk, you voted against me, didn't you? He said he did. Not you, Kirk did. He said no, I just said.
With him?
Anyway, we were very pleased that the Gordon Parks received that from the Community Foundation. The Community Foundation's always been very, very supportive of us. And as you know, some of the things that we've done over in Arnold Arena is be able to make it ADA has been through the community foundation. So we're very appreciative of the monies that they provide, not only to us, but of course to the community. I have.
It's the Alvin
Alvin Ailey.
Valley group in Kansas City.
Right.
And they will be doing ballet on the ballet that Garden Parks wrote. It's titled Margin, because it's about Martin Luther King. And that troupe will be here to do some of the dances for that.
Yeah, it will be very.
Didn't we have the Alvin Ailey group here when we first opened the
Yeah.
Fine Arts Building?
Right. It was.
Oh, good, cool, that was nice.
It really is going to be a great opportunity for the community to see things that they haven't
Oh,
been
yeah.
able to see. I'll be honest, all I could remember was the Alvin thing because it reminds me of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Not quite the same.
And you say it's a belly dance or
Were you kidding?
I had to say that, I'm sorry. I don't. Okay.
Thank
You would.
For picking up the slack.
Okay.
I would be happy to see for questions. And if none, that completes my report.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you tell them that we were ranked number 6 out of all the colleges for?
I saw that today. I did not tell them, so you can tell them.
So,
Of course, I worry about these rankings at some kid in the basement of their nurse's home. But
based on the iPad reports that are gone. I got an email today saying that we are ranked number 6 out of 20 of the community college for best associate's degrees.
You should have
And
been ranked number 1.
they are all based off of online programs offered, retention rate, admission rate, and cost of tuition, and return on investment as far as graduation salary. So if it makes you feel better, we're above like Coffeyville and Allen and.
Well, are these just Kansas Community College?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes, so we rank number 6 out of 20.
Well, yeah, that's great.
We were number 10, so we moved up.
So we moved on? Absolutely.
While I'm here, we did send out the annual report to look at before it went to print. Did y'all already go about that while I?
No, we sent that out separately, and I know that we have some of us have edits.
She's already gave me hers, so I've been waiting on you to face her. Okay.
We will.
It's marked up for you.
Okay, and then I did send, Julie sent you the digital marketing year-end report that we needed to go over last time. So if y'all have questions, just let me know.
Okay.
I do appreciate all the work that Cassie's put into that annual report and all the people that have given her information. I was looking back at board reports in the last November's, and we have distributed that each November, so we're just a little bit behind on that, which is my fault for moving up the board. So I apologize, but what you did receive is just a draft. Probably there will be some changes to that. So just small changes, but maybe a bit here and there. So
Okay. Anything else?
that's it.
Robert?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion for executive session. Executive session for 30 minutes, beginning at
Let's say 6:15.
6:15 to discuss data relating to financial affairs or trade secrets of corporations, partnerships, trusts, and individual priorities as it relates to athletic programs, with action expected to follow.
Here's the move. Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session for 30 minutes, beginning at 6:15, ending at 6:45. Julie, would you call for the vote?
And I just.
I'm sorry.
The board invites the following to attend the executive session: Alicia Johnston and Tom Pepper.
Hart,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes.
Fewens,
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Okay. We'll move to this room over here and we will be back at 6:45. Motion to move back into regular session. So moved. Second, moved and seconded. Julie, would you call for the vote?
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes.
Fewens,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Okay.
I move that we add to the agenda a decision on the continuance of FSCC football program.
Just continue.
Well, we're going to talk about.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Is there a motion? Do we-
Yes, that was the motion.
Yes. Second. Julie, would you call for the vote?
Bartlesmeyer,
Yes.
Fewens,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion. I move that we terminate the FSCC football program. FSCC will honor scholarships for all football student athletes who choose to stay at FSCC and continue their education. That's the end of my motion.
Been moved. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Julie, would you call for the vote, please?
Fewens,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Bartlesmeyer.
Yes. If there's no further things come before the board, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.